Arkansas, I sit by the ocean. I spent my last buck on a bottle of whiskey. Drunk and broke, sitting here in history. I made my mind up how I'm going. Got nowhere to go, don't know where I'm going. I do one.
What up, everybody? Welcome to episode 10. Jesus, I can't believe we've been doing it this long. I really can't.
10 episodes.
Yeah. We've actually committed to this far more than anything else that we've ever committed to as friends.
Which is kind of sad.
Yeah, but it's fucking life.
And we're doing it.
Today we have Adam Abbas.
Oh, I can't do that.
Me. What's up, man?
The mic
Very,
might get
very
wet.
good guy. Very good friend of ours. What?
The mic might get wet.
Okay.
I want to get electrocuted.
All right, I'm going to
God.
take over.
Jesus Christ.
We got Adam here today. He's the newest member at Dilly Dally. Got tons of questions for him. He's boyfriend to the beautiful Yasmin, which we've had on the show before. And he's got a little bit of a reputation. We're going to get into that today.
I heard.
And so number one, right off the bat, I want to know about a couple different things. We've had Kaylee, who you worked with on the show.
Yep.
We've had Yaz on the show as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a couple of conversations about you, and I just kind of want to see what you think about these things.
As far as like which one? So I am the guy who's got the who is the teardrops on the letter. That is me. I'm a big
We'll get there. Okay.
I am
Give us some time.
I'm a big softie. I know that one's gonna come out for sure.
It's for sure happening.
Yeah.
I like how you got ahead of that one.
Oh,
You did.
Yeah.
You just called it out.
Control the narrative.
yeah, exactly. You guys ain't calling anything on me.
All right.
But
Let's do this one.
yeah, let's go for it.
We had Kaylee rank you for hotness 0 to 10, and she gave you an 8.
She gave you a strong 8.
A strong 8.
Yeah.
Listen.
It's like a high.
And I
From
think,
Kaylee, that's like a high, like that. I hold that in high regard.
Oh,
because
that's
like
good?
I feel like
I was going to say 9.5.
I think she was holding back, actually. She
Well,
was
I think she was.
Here's my thing. Is like Kaylee and I, our relationship is like years old. Like I've known Kaylee longer than I've known Dub. So like we worked together. Then she became my manager, and like we had a really good working relationship. And then I'll admit, like I definitely probably gave her a hard time there for a little bit, for sure.
yeah, little hair pull.
But listen, no, not like that, not like that.
Jesus.
The
Happily married.
but no, when she gave me the 8, I was chuffed. I was like, damn, like I know.
It's a new word. We just learned out what Riz meant that last week.
Charisma. Yeah, I heard that.
I had no
heard
idea.
that.
And
Yeah,
like, it was charisma.
Charisma.
yeah, you got the Riz.
So what is the word that you just used?
Chuffed.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Like
Stoked.
Like happy. Like I'm
Like stoked.
Chuffed?
Yeah.
Well, what is the reference? Like, how does it...
I don't know. I feel like honestly where I hear it is like British English probably. It's
Okay.
like probably where it stems from.
I don't know. My nephew showed me.
You know, like British things like nicked means like you're stealing shit.
Yeah.
Like don't nick my fucking phone. Don't nick my
Yeah.
laptop.
That's fucking creative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Chuffed.
You know, I was
Fully chuffed.
super. I was very happy.
Would
with
you
my
like to
rating.
rank Kaylee?
Kaylee?
Yeah.
Oof. No, honestly, I give her an 8.5, 9, like somewhere in there. I think like
You
as,
added a 0.5.
as far as like,
We
I
love
think
you,
I think
Yaz.
she's a really good person. She's a great like she was a really good boss.
Rick, how would you rank her?
Yeah, Rick,
Live TV, what's up?
I
On the spot.
give her a solid 9.
a solid 9.
9.
She's got a good laugh.
Like, you're
a
going
good-
to
a
change
good
your
hearty
life
laugh.
values for her?
No,
Like,
I'm never going to change my values.
What values?
well, I have a scale.
What values?
I have like this weird scale. When you get up to like 9 or 10, you start changing.
I think
who you are
she
as
would
a-
change his values, if anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Bruh.
I mean, he wouldn't be drinking that. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
This guy.
He wouldn't.
Zing.
Our fake sponsor is almost ready to go.
Yeah.
We'll do it at the end. Okay, we also had Yaz on the show.
Yeah.
And Yaz told us some heartwarming tales about you and how you won her heart over. And I wanna go play by play, blow by blow. You want Hunter Biden?
No, he smokes it. He smokes it. It's
He
different.
smokes it.
Rice,
It's
man.
different. Yeah. I want to know about the teardrop love letter because I just.
We want to know how it happened,
Actual
so we
teardrop?
can.
Yeah. No, 100%.
So then you were like
What did
this.
you go-
and-
No. I remember how it happened. So let's see. We met each other in November of 2021. Yeah, 2021. She started working at Porch while I was there, and immediately, like, even some of the other servers that I was working with, they were like, oh yeah, she's like really pretty. And I remember I said something to one of the servers, and then it got back, obviously, to Yaz. And
So that's the move, like do it by proxy?
kind of. I mean, that's how I did.
Wait,
But here's
well,
the
I
thing.
mean,
here's-
Isn't that what she said? That she went around social media and she was just like,
Yeah, I remember I was hanging out with my two best friends. She followed me on Instagram, and I like lost it because I was just like, "Oh my God, the Palestinian princess from work just followed me!" I was.
We should have had the vibes on today, dude.
Oh my God, I was like losing it. But yeah, like so or our first shift that we ever worked together was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and you know how much of a shit show that is.
Yeah.
And like she and I were like kind of like observing everything that was going on because it was a nightmare of a night. But in any sense, like we talked for like a month-ish. Our first date was at Lux Central.
Coffee spot?
Yeah.
Well played.
We did that, and then about 2 weeks later, we went to Avanti, the little Italian spot on, what was that?
What, Thomas?
Thomas?
Mhm.
Yeah. We did that, and then she left. I got COVID, and then she left to go see her niece and nephew out in California, and there was like a text exchange that was kind of like, it. I'll put it this way: I never asked her out. I literally just like in a text conversation, I was like, "Well, you're mine now," so like that's just how it's gonna be. And then during this like whole process, I think it was a love letter preceding that Valentine's Day because I had like done a lot of work on myself in 2021, and then like
Let's go into that. What do you mean work on yourself?
I started going to therapy. There were a lot of like other.
What were the issues that you needed to figure out?
That's a really good question. Funny, I don't know how much I can get into that. I actually realized I needed to go to therapy when I was tripping on mushrooms, and I had a very violent, like almost very negative trip. And that's what kind of realized. That's when I kind of realized, like, shit, I got a lot of like baggage I got to unpack, like my background, where I come from, my family situation, like all of that stuff. Like I was just like, look, I need to stop being so anxious. I'm very depressed right now. I kind of need to get a direction. So I started going to therapy. I started journaling. I started like getting back into my creative side. I lost a lot of that when I was in college.
Where are you from? Are you from
I'm
Arizona?
from Iowa. I'm from Iowa.
Okay.
Yeah, small town
That's
Iowa.
why you're normal.
Yep. I don't know about that, but yeah, I grew up in Shueyville, Iowa.
Shueyville?
Shueyville.
Shueyville.
Yeah.
Spell
So SHUEYVILLE.
Okay. I just need the first part. I need the bill.
But yeah, I kind of just cut everybody else off. Like I had my few friends, and it was just kind of like I need to grow up kind of thing. So
I think you're around 26 now,
yeah, I'm 26 right now.
and so that was when you were about 24 when you kind of realized
23, 24.
you had to
yeah,
like become a man. And
Exactly.
Well, we're all men, but we just never grow up.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
do
your take.
men ever actually?
That's
grow
why.
up?
I mean, let's be
We're all
honest.
kids.
Yeah,
We're all
100%.
big kids. We have our responsibilities, but then if we get rid of that, but we all like. That's why you get like a group of random guys, and we can all get along
Yeah,
fine. Girls can't do that for some reason. I don't understand why.
they're a little more complex,
Jesus Christ, man!
I think they're more competitive than us.
more multifaceted.
We're a little competitive. I think we get over it once we become friends. When we first meet each other, like,
Man,
well,
none of y'all
it's the
compete with me. I'll
competition.
just
The
say it.
competition makes us friends.
Maybe I'm just a bitch. Huh?
yeah. No, you're not a bitch. It's like Paul. Like, if I was to meet
Yeah.
you when I first met you, you'd be like, we're fucking playing
I
again.
think that's like primal instinct.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, the
I'm gonna
alpha
fuck
shit.
you up until you're like homies. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
The big difference, I think, is that I'm going to take a lot of heat from this, but I think a lot of women groups view it as like a zero-sum game, where like if you win, somebody loses. But in our world, it's if you beat me at something, or you get the girl or whatever, it's not necessarily that I'm losing too. We can all kind of like rise together.
Right.
And so there's a camaraderie
Yeah.
thing about that.
A rising
But
tide raises all
with
ships.
women, it's different. They're more like, if you get this and I'm minusing this, right?
Correct.
But it doesn't have to be that way.
Dude, I saw this stat. There was like 20% of the men are dating 80% of the women.
On like social media
Yeah.
or like dating apps.
No, just
In-
across the
in
board.
life?
Yeah. because women are looking for this like the 1%er. Like if you go out on the street and you ask any random woman like how much should a guy be making for you to,
yeah,
and they'll say some astronomical number like he should be making like
there's a
you
guy
know like 400,000. Like wait,
there's a guy on TikTok who I think he came up with. I don't know if he came up with it or how the calculator works, but he basically came up with like an algorithm that like he like goes around and interviews girls, and he's like, "What are you looking for in a woman?" And he'll be like it'll be like their salary, it'll be like all of these like variables, and he'll put it in, and he'll like tell the girl, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, this is your percentage chance of finding that guy."
Yeah.
And like so many of them, you hear it. It's
She's
like,
off.
Yeah,
it's like
defeated.
0.3%,
Yeah.
2%. Like you definitely like. It does give me some hope though, because there definitely are some men and women that get interviewed that I'm like, okay, so you are a rational person. Like you can be like, you don't got to make $200K a year,
Right.
you know, like to be my partner. You can be like 75, 65, 55, depending on where you are in the
Yeah.
world, and just like there are all those people that exist, but
When you get into those high income earner people, there's times where people make millions of dollars a year, and there's times where they lose millions of dollars a year.
Right.
So when you go up to a person who's like a hedge fund guy, it's like, oh great, you got the cool car, cool house, all these things, but it's not like this. Once you start to get into like the risk reward situation where there's like a high reward and then you're balling out, but there's also a high risk. There's many times where if you're a strong woman and you want to put up with that, then there might be years where you don't make it. Your dude don't make anything. Actually, he loses money.
Right.
So like, if you want like the creme de la creme, you might also get the worst hell ever. So you have to.
and that's when I think like a lot of the questions that modern day people ask. I feel like our world has become so materialistic.
Oh,
Is that like
no,
a fair?
no,
Is that
yeah.
like a fair
Yeah.
assumption?
No, it is.
And like I feel like so many
It's like
so many
me,
men
me,
and
me.
women, yeah, exactly. They're like, they're like, okay, how can this improve like my life? It's not like, does this make me happy?
It's
like, am I
transactional.
feeling like love? Am I feeling appreciation? Am I feeling like, is this like an actual partner, or is this just somebody that I'm trying to like be with because it could make my life more comfortable?
Like if you ask women like what do you want in a man, they have like a fucking laundry list of shit. But if you ask a guy, it's like what, maybe 5 things max.
Max.
Maybe I just got lucky though. Yaz doesn't really.
I'm
very much.
complicated.
I think
100%.
How
Yaz
complicated?
I think Yaz is honestly like.
Yeah, he's very
I
complicated.
feel like you're very complicated, but
How?
then sometimes I don't.
complicated?
Yeah,
Sometimes I don't.
Dub wants all the smoke in relationships. All
He
the
wants
smoke.
all the smoke, and then he's like, doesn't.
So is the toxic one the girls that you meet, or is it you?
It's about.
It's the girls he loves.
Yeah, it's like.
Maybe Dub is toxic. Maybe. See,
Oh,
you have
for
to
sure.
figure that out.
100%. Yeah.
No, seriously.
yeah, no, yeah.
Think about it.
Oh,
No,
I'm
because
terrible.
I talked to my mom and I was like, why are all the girls that I meet crazy? And I was like, well, wait, maybe I'm crazy.
Like attracts like.
Yeah.
What you put out, that's what you get back.
Right.
Well, I
it's-
feel like for in the instance of you two, you guys kind of have the situation of like you attract the twin flame as opposed to like your soulmate.
What does that mean?
I thought the twin
Okay.
flame and the soulmate were the same.
No.
No. I've always
What is
understood.
the twin flame?
Okay, so your twin
thought-
flame is like somebody who's like matching your energy in all facets, right? So you say like, oh, I'm a toxic person. I have so many needs. You attract that. That's your twin flame. You don't meet your soulmate because
I
you
thought it was the
aren't
same
like
thing.
you aren't like looking between the lines. You're not like this
So
is a
soulmate
characteristic.
is a yin
of
and
this.
the
Yeah,
yin-
like
the
Yaz and
yang.
I consider Yaz and I soulmates. I don't consider us twin flames. She and I are not like butting heads constantly. We're not making the fire hotter. We're like a slow, steady burn.
He's
we're
a
like
he's a hot fire guy.
We're like
You're like, yeah, you're like a
happy.
fucking forest fire.
How did you know that though?
What do you mean?
Like when did you
twin
know
flame.
that about Yaz?
That's another fun story. So, I think honestly, a lot of it kind of is grounded in like when she was a flight attendant and she was really unhappy.
Oh,
and,
by
like,
the way, quick segue. What the hell is Charm Farm? There's a school they send all the flight attendants to, and it's called Charm Farm.
What?
And you learn how to be charming as a
Charm
flight attendant.
Farm?
I've never heard that.
I asked
Yaz
Yaz
is-
about
yeah,
it, and she didn't know either. But
Yeah.
like the last 3 flight attendants I've talked to, they're like, yeah, we're in Charm Farm right now. I'm like, what is that? So you haven't heard of that?
Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
Anyways,
Charm
personally. Sorry.
it's like a school or something.
But like when she was like super unhappy with the whole flight attending thing, and like we had a rocky patch for sure, and I think that was like kind of like the test of like, hey, we like all of this shit kind of hit the fan. We worked through it, and now we're like on our way. And now over the last 6 months, like I'm kind of in the same, like I was in the same position as she was, like when I was working in real estate and all that stuff. Like I was super unhappy. I don't know what the fuck I want to do with my life. Like I'm soul searching and not making a lot of money, and she's kind of like stepped up and really taken like the life shit on. And like she is my biggest inspiration. Like the girl works 3 jobs and goes to school full time. Like it's a fucking maniacal.
Haven't you
like,
been talking to Brad about firefighting?
I have.
Are you gonna do it?
I just got to get my EMT, but yeah, I think so. I think that's kind of the route I'm gonna go at.
How's the soul searching going? Like honestly, because that's a tough one.
That's a loaded question. That's a really good question. I think I'm kind of in the position where it's not so frantic and like, you know, all over the place. I feel like the dust is kind of finally settling, but it's not. There's so much uncertainty for me, and like I'm a big anxious person already. So like I think the uncertainty is kind of making me hesitant in some ways. But as far as like finding who I am as a person, I feel like I'm pretty ingrained in my ways, and I'm pretty ingrained. Like I'm very true to myself as far as like I'm not trying to be somebody that I'm not, which is kind of a weird thing to say because I wouldn't have, like, you know, when I started therapy 3.5 years ago, like I would not have said like, oh, in 3 years, like I'm gonna find myself. Like I think I know who I am a little bit better. I just don't know what the fuck I want to do because I have so many interests.
I mean, mental health is a really big thing these
Big
days.
time.
And you know that June was men's
Health?
mental health month, and nobody talked about it.
It's because no one gives a shit.
No,
Men
nobody gives a
commit
shit.
suicide way more.
Nobody gives a shit.
100%.
Because
that
everybody
are-
believes that there is no men's mental health.
Well, it's so
we-
sad because you see like
We're not supposed
We're not
to feel
supposed to.
sad.
Yeah.
you see like
we've
the
been
lifespan.
we've been taught to like tuck it in, like
Yeah, 100%. Be hard. Be a man.
yeah.
Stop crying.
Yeah,
Like stand
don't
up.
cry.
Bro, I cry. If I don't cry once a week, like I feel like something's off. I'll be open and honest.
shut
Okay,
up.
let's do that. Last time you guys cried. I'll go first if you
I
want.
cried last month.
Okay.
I cried last, yeah.
What happened? What
Are
was
we
it
allowed to
about?
talk about the reasons?
Yeah, if you guys want to. Like,
I'd love to.
it was, I've had a lot of family issues lately.
Okay.
And it just, for literally the past, like, well, actually, it was like a month and a half ago. Like, it broke me. It's literally sent me back down to, like, square zero. And I was just like, great, like, I'm fucked. And I had a good fucking cry. I mean, you've caught me crying outside every once in a while, you know? Every now and then, I have to let it out, too, dude.
No, you
If
have
I don't let it out, like,
There's no reason.
one day I'm gonna black out and just fucking destroy someone, some poor innocent.
Or yourself.
Or myself that I really don't want to.
Yeah.
And once I let it out, I do feel a lot better, like 100% better.
Definitely.
Ricky, how about you?
Last time I cried was when Kobe died, and I don't know
Really?
why it affected me so much.
That's
like,
so fair though.
I don't know why it affected me because, like, you know, Jordan is a GOAT, but like when he died, it was just like it was so sad. Like
Well,
really, all those people that died.
You think
it
about
was
those
so sad.
You think about those cultural icons like Kobe, and you're like, damn, that's somebody who I grew up watching,
Right.
and like that's somebody who I'm supposed to like watch grow old himself.
Like I kind of felt like
And then like
I
his
knew
kids
him.
and all
Like,
the kids
Yeah,
on board the
it was
helicopter.
weird.
Like that's a valid thing.
Yeah.
I've cried when celebrities died. I cried when Mac Miller died. I cried when Juice WRLD died. Like those are two artists
Mac
who like
Miller was fucking
really
sad.
helped
Oh,
me through like my
yeah,
depression.
Mac.
You know.
Right.
But
When's the last time you cried?
when the last time I cried,
It's a good episode.
this is a good episode. I think the last time I cried was right before Yaz and I moved house. So this was probably like within the last 10 days, 14 days. And I think it was just like, hey, we're taking another step. Like we're into our third place together. I'm like kind of starting to figure out my own shit. And like I have this amazing person, amazing partner who's like been so supportive of everything. And like I think it wasn't like a sad cry. It was like a God damn it, like I'm counting my blessings right
Oh,
now.
that's
Like
cool.
this,
Yeah,
this
that's-
feels
That's a good
big.
cry, though. That's a
Yeah.
really good cry.
And it was just like
Like I'm fucking doing it.
I remember, I think she just like walked, I don't remember. She came inside and I was just like welling up. And I was just like, dude, I can't like, I'm gonna get emotional right now doing it. But she was just like, what's going on? And I was like, you know, like my life is kind of a mess, but you've been supporting me over these last 6 months. Like this is like the best thing that I've ever had. My family's life is going really well. Like my mom and my sister and all that stuff. And yeah, that's probably the last time that I cried. pretty recently. What about you, Dub?
Come on, sir.
I saw a movie recently, and I like just twice in the theater.
What movie?
Which movie?
It's The Sound of Freedom.
Yo, hold on. I was hoping you would say that.
Wow.
How bad? How good is it?
It's
I think
I've been talking nonstop about
they're
it.
coming from Mel Gibson, I think.
oh, of course, yeah.
They're
But
coming
like
for it.
it was like heart wrenching when I watched. I bought. So I was in San Diego, in Del Mar, and I went to go get my oil change before I drove back the following day, and I walked by this theater, and I know that like they're only playing it in like
A few of them.
a few of them. So I was like, hey, are you guys playing this film today? It's like July 4th. And the guy's like, yeah, but there's like no tickets. I'm like, do you have any tickets? He's like, yeah.
We got to talk about what the movie's about, though.
We can do that.
Okay.
But, so anyways, every like ticket was sold throughout the entire day, except for the 2:30 matinee. It's like a Wednesday on 4th of July. And I bought these 2 tickets, front row, all the way to the right, worst possible seats. But like the theater was packed, and like I watched
serious?
it. Oh yeah,
Dude.
That is
I watched
crazy.
it and I was like, I just cried, man. Like it was very highly aggressive.
There's so many. I've seen so many videos and TikToks of like people that like in theaters that are actually trying to like not show it.
Yeah, so there's a Christian element to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And also it kind of looks bad, I guess, if you're, you know, wanting to control the border. But like a lot of these kids come up from the Mexican side of things, and it's just really fucked up. So the film is basically saving kids from sex, prostitution,
Yeah.
and trafficking and all that stuff. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
I was talking nonstop about it for like an hour this morning.
It was really. I recommend seeing it.
Oh, okay.
It's awesome.
That we're watching it.
Yeah. Okay,
You
let's
crying
do
then?
let's do a little. Let's do something. Let's go. Let's move it on. Let's keep it going. All right,
ball
Adam.
rolling.
Bring back the male part of this. We're all getting
Yeah.
soft.
Hold on. Okay. So question. How did you get? Last question. How did you get the tear on the paper?
Yeah, that's what the whole point of
that's
this.
what we, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So
Like were you like
Were
this?
you,
No,
were
no,
you like, were you like
Or
writing
did you,
like
or did you
this?
dab your eye with it? You're like,
So at the time, I lived in a small. I lived by myself. It was me and my dog. We lived in a small little apartment, and I used to, like, I am. It's like I said, like I'm kind of a creative person. I like to write. I have a journal. I write poems. I write haikus. Like I do that kind of thing. And like, I
get it.
I have some fun with it. So I hadn't
Beauty and the brains
written.
over here.
I hadn't written a letter like that full of emotion in what? Let's see, 2021. So probably since 2017. And like I think just all of like the emotion that got to me, like damn, I found like a fucking diamond in the rough, needle in the haystack, like we were chatting before we started filming, and like
Needle in the
I
hay
think
farm.
I
Hay
think
farm. Yeah.
and I think like it all just kind of hit me like damn, I really found like something special. Like this is raw, like this is a real thing. Like I already feel, and I don't like to use the love word that early ever. Like I have like a 6-month rule generally. But nah, like I wrote the letter and I was walking my dog like outside and just like crying like as it happened. This is
And did you like catch the?
no. Like I was like I have my dog in my dog in my right hand. My dog in my right hand and I'm like reading it like here. So like
You
tears are
wrote it?
falling off my
You
nose.
wrote it and then
wrote it,
reread
then
it.
reread it.
Yeah.
Outside,
Then-
walking the
You
dog.
proofread it before you sent it out?
100%.
That's smart.
100%.
Jeez.
100%.
You can't do anything.
Holy
you can't do
shit.
anything
Well, like-
emotional and not
like-
proofread
Every
it.
time
I-
I've done that, I've just been like,
I've
Same.
always written like I don't want to write. Anytime like I write
But
a
do it
letter
live.
like that or like something that's supposed to be heartfelt, like I want to make sure like my message was conveyed exactly and there's no like blips as far as like what I'm trying to communicate. Like, and that's like.
so
one
are
of the
you,
big
are you
things.
saying it's more like a short and sweet, like concise thing?
No. I think this letter you'd have to ask Yaz. I think this letter was like 4 pages.
Good lord.
Is it handwritten or
Yeah.
typed?
Front and back.
Handwritten.
From back?
Front and back.
Mistake.
I never go front and back.
So
only
2
because
pages.
the paper looks kind of fucky.
You go back and front though, right?
Yeah.
So 2 pages then. If it's
No. It was 4 pages. So I
No,
wrote
but if you do
front
front-
side. I don't write.
So yeah,
front
if you
and
go
back.
front and back, it's 2 pages.
Two
Yeah,
pages, that's what
it's
I'm saying.
4 pages, regardless.
Okay.
It's the same difference.
He wrote it on 4 pieces of paper, so we're clear.
Which is
amazing.
Wait, are you
Thanks
crying about a
for
tree right now?
Save the
But yeah,
trees.
no, that was what it was. Like I just
You were
my
walking
dog,
your dog and just
walking my dog. I was reading it, and
So
Splish
the tear
splash.
came. The
yeah,
tear
it came off
on
my
the-
nose.
on the-
Honestly, like if you really want to boil it down, it
on
was
the
like
proofread.
So was it one tear? So it was just one tear, you're saying?
well,
was-
many tears were shed, but yes, it was.
It was an inadvertent tear.
How
on
did,
the,
how did she? I just want to like. I'm thinking about her.
How did she know it was a tear?
And she's reading it, and she's like,
Is that-
Like,
"Is
it's
that
right-
a fucking tear?" Like,
I mean,
how
like-
did she?
She holds it to the light and she's like,
Yeah.
that ink, that's a blot.
She
How
like
did she
saline
know?
tested. Like how salty is this?
a fucking tear.
I'll have to bring her on and ask her.
I love that.
It's amazing.
What's the next question, bud?
Okay, well,
Let's
Adam's
tee it up.
he's brand new here, so I want to see if he has any crazy Dilly stories that he's seen so far.
Oh,
Oh, did you? No,
Yeah,
gosh.
hello,
spilled
man.
myself.
I'm trying to be nice to you, and
We are on 36, by the way, so we're 30 in.
Okay, do you want to take a quick one?
Take a little quick one.
Yeah, perfect. All right, welcome back. Thank you for the short break. We're going to be getting into some political, economical jargon here. I wanted to talk about Trump being at the UFC fight last night and how monumental that
it's a
was.
strategic.
It was a very strategic move.
It's fucking genius because he's going to get the votes of like everybody who enjoys UFC.
Which is a huge crowd.
It's a massive.
I mean, he
crowd.
already
You
gets
just-
that, and he's butt buddies with Dana White. So like, it's not that
Yeah.
huge,
I mean,
in my eyes.
He's out there.
That's the first time
Yeah.
I've seen
You're
him
right,
with-
he's
that's the
out
first
there,
time I've
but
seen
he's
him with
also
Dana White,
facing
though.
like how many fucking like criminal
Right.
charges? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's,
It sounded like he had cocaine in the White House.
I mean, everybody has cocaine in DC.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Cocaine's like the most widely used drug in DC.
Yeah.
Everybody
Hands
in the
down.
government, not everybody, but like generally speaking, the government, Wall Street, like the big business people,
Yeah.
the big elites, they're using cocaine. And you know why? Because you can do cocaine on a Friday night, it's gone and out of your system by Sunday. So if you get drug tested for whatever the fuck, it's gone. It's not gonna appear on anything. Me, I couldn't be able to. I would not be able to do that because I smoke. Like I use cannabis. Cannabis stays in your system for fuck knows how
week.
long.
No,
60 days. Because
60
it
Really?
stores in your fat cells.
Okay,
yeah.
wait.
Holy shit.
But if you consume it a lot, then that means that your body's able to dispel it a lot quicker, right?
Correct, but like, you're still using it. It still gets stored in fat cells and in hair follicles.
Yeah, but if you're saying that you don't, what you're saying is that you recognize that having marijuana in your fat cells would be a negative political thing, right?
Well, I mean,
mean, who's
currently, yeah, probably.
I'm not talking about legal or not
No, no,
legal.
no.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about if you are running for president or running for office or whatever, and we find out that there's cannabis in your system.
Nobody
it's like,
cares.
I mean, I would hope nobody cares nowadays.
I think
there
nobody
are-
would care
There are some
nowadays.
people that
Like-
might care.
Well, I'm sure there are.
Who's
There's-
Yeah, but not enough.
Do you guys think that no one cares that there's cocaine in the White House, or do you think that people
No.
are like, this is
Oh,
absurd?
I think it's just like something to say and be like, oh look, we actually found cocaine in the White House.
And
Like
everybody's-
big deal.
and, like, yeah,
Big
everybody's
deal.
like, okay,
Cocaine
well-
is such,
Everyone's like, holy fuck, is it mine?
yeah, exactly. Everybody's checking their coke packets right now.
That's what's
Nobody-
going on.
no, like,
Everyone's like,
It would
oh,
not-
you
it would not
dude.
surprise me in the slightest if Sleepy Joe does cocaine. It would not surprise me in the slightest if
He
like
wouldn't be so
a bunch of
sleepy
these.
then.
No, but that's like why he can't fucking talk. And just a disclaimer to all the people out there, I don't like Joe Biden either.
Oh.
I just hate Donald Trump too.
Okay.
I am not. I am.
I will be
I'm the polar
Twittering him
opposite.
later.
I am the polar opposite of a conservative, and I am not a liberal. So that's where I'll leave that.
Can we talk about
I'll
how
drop
different Joe Biden looks from the Obama days to now? Like,
Yeah, he aged 10 years.
that? Well, he aged.
he had, like,
That's the
blue
president.
eyes
Except
where
mentally he aged
had
like 30.
His lobes were like free, but now they're like.
But I mean,
touching,
that's
like,
what that's
I
the,
don't-
that's the
some QAnon
presidency,
stuff.
bro. Like
Yeah, the
you-
presidency does that to you, bro.
Have you
It's the
not
same-
seen
it was the
photos
same
of
with
before and
Obama.
after of damn
Changes
near
your
every president
lobes.
since
It
Eisenhower?
changes everything,
No,
man.
your lobes do not change.
My guy.
Your
I know,
ears and
you
your nose
should
always
know.
grow.
Yeah, I do know.
Ask Joseph. He
Yeah.
knows about ear growth.
These motherfuckers grow, bro.
By the time, 10 years from now, Joseph's gonna be able to hear what's going on in like
Oh, we've
fucking
done the jokes in the
on
way.
Camelbacks.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, he doesn't have an alarm
I think there's a
clock.
girl
He just-
outside right now that just saw me.
He doesn't have,
Oh,
an,
wait.
he doesn't have an alarm clock. He just listens for the sun to come
He
up.
hears the chickens out in
Yeah,
Litchfield
in
Park.
Albuquerque.
Okay, so Adam,
Yeah.
if you're not a liberal and you're not a conservative, what best sums up your political beliefs?
I'm an independent.
That doesn't mean
So you're a
anything.
hippie.
It does mean something. So I am willing to listen to every possible what's the word?
Scenario.
No, not scenario. Like, I'm willing to listen to everything, Tank. I'm willing to listen to every philosopher. I'm willing to read into anything.
So you have an open mind.
I don't like using the word open mind because people say I have an open mind and then they're like they vote like some super staunch like nationalist and then they vote like some like fucking Massachusetts Dem who likes guns but wants like social policies passed. I don't know. I probably would put myself like far left, like I'm further left than Bernie for sure.
Oh my God.
Bernie's not, I'm gonna just say it, Bernie's not that far left. You put Bernie
No, he's
in,
not.
you put Bernie in any...
He's not that far left.
Dude,
please.
he operates on common sense.
Let Adam
No,
go.
he
Let
doesn't.
Adam
He
go.
doesn't operate. I mean, he does operate on some common sense, and you have to really dive into what he did in the city of Burlington when he was the mayor there, which is very interesting. But you put Bernie in Germany, you put Bernie in the Netherlands, you put Bernie in damn near any European country. He is their like popular left wing candidate. That's what they are. Even the right wing candidates in Europe, like, support a lot of the same shit that our Democrats here do. Our Democrats here are not close to left wing. Our Democrats on the international spectrum are very centrist, and our conservatives are pretty harshly right wing.
So why do you think that we police the world? When I say we, I mean United States. Like I think that we should focus on on us and then worry about.
And I would love that, but there's a lot of things. It is going to destroy a huge sector of the American economy.
Right.
You're going to eliminate the military-industrial complex. You're going to
Right.
eliminate a lot of these like huge businesses, Boeing, Lockheed Martin.
Right. Lockheed Martin's been
is
involved in
it
some
Stryker?
really sketch shit.
Is it Stryker? What is that?
I'm not sure.
But you're going to eliminate all of that, so that's going to like...
I'm not sure. Go fuck yourself.
That's like it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. We have so many interests internationally that like we're just trying to like make sure that we are benefiting the most, and it's
about trade.
But it's not about trade.
100%.
We are policing the world for what? Like most of the time when we go into a country, what are we doing there? Looking for resources.
Right.
Well, making sure our economic interests are safe.
Facts.
Right.
And that's why I say like when is the last time we fought a war that was a war instead of being in our own interest?
I mean, maybe like
We haven't.
Vietnam.
No, Vietnam was not. The Vietnam War started 25 years before we entered.
No, of course, yeah.
So,
So did
like-
World War II. I mean, not 25
But and
years,
the reason we joined was because of the like I was almost going to say Xi Jinping. That's not right. Who's the leader of the North Vietnamese army? What was his name? In any sense, he was like getting very close to defeating the French, and then we jumped in after like the Bay of Pigs and all of that shit, and we were like, time out, hold on. Like these guys are allying themselves with the Soviet Union. We need to stop that. And that brings me on my next point. So as far as me saying I'm as far left, when has something that far left ever been able to just be?
It happens all the time
No,
in
it doesn't.
Venezuela.
And it did not, because
Cuba.
if you look at in Venezuela, there's I think 131 not embargoes, but there's like 131 like different, I can't remember the word.
Sanctions?
Yes. 131 sanctions against the state of Venezuela because Venezuela and Hugo Chavez would not sell us oil that they were harvesting.
But that's what it's all about, though. It's fucking oil.
Exactly,
It's always
it's
about money.
resources.
It's
It's
always about
resources.
money.
We
Well,
have not
oil.
we have not fought a war since World War II that was about anything but resources. And World War II we didn't even want to be in. World War II preceding Pearl Harbor, America was neutral. They were like, oh yeah, the Nazis are going to do what they want to do. The Soviets are going to do what they want to do. We don't care. We're going to stay out of it. We're
Yeah,
not
I
being
mean,
attacked.
Hitler walked into France, Austria, walked into a bunch of places, and we didn't do
Prussia.
shit. And
Exactly.
No one cared.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, then we get bombed, and it's like, okay,
Well, and
Now
then
we
we
gotta do
declare
something.
war on Japan, which then turns us to the European campaign. But like, that's all I'm saying. Like, we have not fought a war that's actually been necessary since the 40s.
What do you think would happen if China was like, "Fuck you, U.S."
they won't
Well,
say it,
we
they
would be
depend on us.
fucked.
we would be
100%
fucking royally fucked.
We would be
100%
fucked for years. With that, and like the greatest like conversation that I've ever heard about that is in the modern society. There's two pillars, and there's the United States and there's China. And if one falls, the other goes. There is no way in hell that the world is going to survive that well if one of those pillars fall.
I
Why do
would
you-
I would disagree on this one point. I think that we've gotten very complacent in this country, where we're all just cool with going into a Walmart and buying cheap shit. But like, if it ever got to a point where it's like, hey, we need to have a garment district here in the United States again. We need to have people making stuff, and your shirt that you buy, like your nice shirt, I'm sure you spent $100. Now it's $300, and that's gonna suck. But you know, it's being made by people who have pensions and unions or whatever, and like that blows. But at the same time, like, I think that we're so dependent on cheap labor and cheap goods from over there, and we do it for like all the things, like even media. I mean, our movies are changed for them. Our like our radio, all their songs are designed to not piss them off because we depend on their giant population. But if it got to brass tacks, if it got real scary, and it was like, hey, Joseph, Ricky, Adam, you guys have to learn how to like hunt and make food or whatever, I think that we could do it as Americans. I just don't know.
I mean, a little bit of training.
I think that we could, but I think that's going to take.
Real soft.
I think that's going to take the whole world back. Like, I think that's going to take society on an international level very far back if that's the route that we go.
Do you own a gun?
Hell the fuck no.
Why not?
You don't agree with weapons?
At this point, I think I need to get one.
I'm gonna make this as brief as I possibly can.
Everybody else has one, so
I don't give a
idea.
fuck about guns. I don't think they're cool. I don't think they're interesting. Nothing about them. I don't fantasize about them. I think they're pretty like pointless. It's a lot like cars to me. Like, I don't really care.
Do you own a car?
I do own a car, but that's
why.
Because I have to drive places.
So it's not pointless.
What? Well, I mean, cars aren't pointless, but like, to me, a gun is pointless. Like, I have no need.
80% of the population owns a gun.
Fine,
and you're
shoot
in the
me.
20%.
What neighborhood do you live in?
I live in South
We're
Scottsdale.
neighbors.
Oh,
South Scottsdale.
Yeah,
got it. Yeah, you don't need to talk to gun.
But like,
out of here, bro. Yeah.
And here's my thing. I am very much a person who is, if it's my time, it's my time. If my like path was to be shot in the face in my own home, that's the path that I'm supposed to be on. That's really not the reason I don't own a gun. The reason I don't own a gun is because I've struggled so badly with depression and suicidal thoughts in the past, and I don't ever want
to have that exit, that
Yes.
easy way out.
Yeah.
Well, and I wouldn't even say it like, I'm not, disclaimer, I'm not suicidal right now, but in the past I have been, and like that idea scares me.
So
I don't like because I had a very close friend who worked with me at Porch, and he got a DUI one night, and my other very good friend picked him up from the station, took him home, and said, hey man, like, if you need anything, just call me. And he didn't call him, and he ended up taking his own life.
Shit.
He's 21 years old, but like that kind of thing, like, that's another reason I don't really drink. Like, drinking really fucks up my head, and like, that's why I don't own a firearm. I have nothing against them. I have some things against them. I don't think like there are definitely certain kinds of things that people buy that I'm just like, this is pointless. Like, why do you need this? It doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're not using it to hunt or like something to protect your home, like sport shooting to me is kind of stupid. Like, okay, you're gonna go spend $200 on ammunition and go and shoot at a fucking rubber deer. Cool. Like, if that gets you off, fine. But like, I just think there's other hobbies.
I see where you're coming from the depression side, because see, I'm a gun, like I love guns. So I have a few of them, but when I have gone into depression mode, what I do is I load them off. I'm like, cool, sell them all, because I don't want to get caught in that same predicament.
Exactly.
Where I'm like, hey, it's this season.
I know my demons are my own worst enemy. And that's the only thing that like concerns me.
As long as you acknowledge your demons, you're good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, 100%. And like, I'd rather just keep myself safe.
What about you, Dub? Do you like guns?
Very much.
Dove has a gun in every
Crevice of his body.
Yeah, no.
Like, I have nothing against owning
sink.
like a 9mm, but I have like a little pistol. But like, I don't.
So you'd carry a 9mm?
I would, yes. I would
Okay.
I would carry like a SIG or something like that for sure. Like, I don't have.
So he knows his
I don't
gun because
have-
he said a SIG.
I don't have like anything against like hand pistols. It's once you start to get things that are more accurate, and once you start to get things that are
Yeah, like why would you need an AR? Like, why?
Okay.
Why?
You guys
It's home
can go. You
protection.
guys can go ahead. I'm with you, and I don't want to comment on it because there's other questions that I'm actually really intrigued in by this. So you guys can go ahead.
Let's do a final thought on the gun thing, and then
Alright.
we'll move on. Number one, if you're a female, like Yaz, like your girlfriend, she weighs,
Smaller.
she's tiny.
Yeah, no, and I support her owning a gun more than me.
If a female has a gun, she has to be properly trained on the gun.
Ricky.
She has to get to the gun first.
Yeah, I know that.
That's why you leave it accessible.
Yeah, that's why it's in the house. But not like the whole thing about home protection thing.
With any gun, you have to get to the gun.
Ricky, let me do my piece, and then
Go
you can
ahead.
do yours.
Go
and
ahead.
you
Go
can do
ahead.
yours.
Go ahead.
Here's the deal. Two things. One, home protection, females. It's not just. It's like any one of us could maybe fight and win to another dude. It's much tougher for a female to do it. And if there's not just one dude, if there's like 3 or 4,
Right.
there's a 0 chance. So don't tell me you know karate or whatever. That's not happening.
No.
But
Yeah,
here's
you're
the
not
other thing
Rambo.
too. The AR-15, very fucking accurate, extremely accurate. So you put it on a body, you put it on the chest, it's going
there.
exactly where you pointed.
And
The
that's my
pistols, much tougher to aim, much tougher to shoot. They're very difficult, and also most of the gun violence, most of it, like 80% of the murders are done by
With
pistols,
pistols.
not by rifles, okay?
Correct.
So like, if we're talking about, we'll do you in a second, the last thing is, God forbid, my boy Trump wins again, and he's wearing a brown coat, and he kills anyone who speaks ill will of him. Do we not have the right to go fight against the tyranny of the government?
Okay.
That's what this is about.
That's another fun,
One
that's another
second,
fun
one second.
conversation.
He's getting on it. Let's get it.
So like the whole point of this is to keep the government in check, and anyone that says like,
But
well,
it
they
doesn't
hold
matter.
on. Anyone that says that like, well, they have cruise missiles and they have boats and they have all these things. What happened in Iraq? What happened in Vietnam? A bunch of guys with a bunch of guns chased out the strongest, most powerful government in the entire world because a couple of guys had guns.
They cut off their supply chains.
Exactly.
They cut off their supply
And
chains,
that's
which
what
is
they
why they
do.
couldn't get any more ammo.
Right,
It
but
doesn't
that's-
matter. No, my problem with highly accurate
boy.
weapons is the United States is the country with the absolute most death by firearm. That is an
Absolute.
absolute. That is an
Okay.
absolute. In that
More than Mexico?
That yes, that precedes every country
Per capita?
to per capita doesn't matter.
It
People
does.
are dying. Just worry about the
We have a
people.
lot
Don't
of
worry about the
people here.
stats.
We've got 380 million
Yes,
people
we have
here.
380 million people here, and we also beat out every country. I think 2 through like 7 on gun deaths. That's fucked.
Are you
Yeah.
including
That is
suicide?
fucked. Yes, I'm
Okay.
including suicide.
So
The
if you wanna
lifespan in
commit
America.
suicide, can I just jump off a cliff, or do I
You
need a gun?
can, you can.
Okay.
But what's easier? What's easier?
Gun.
In the willpower of a man, of humans, right? You say, I'm gonna commit suicide. Here's my gun. Bam. Okay. You don't have to think twice. You can pull that trigger in a millisecond.
But do you think,
have
do you
to
think
walk to a
disarming
bridge?
Do you think
have to
disarming that
walk.
person is going to stop them from killing themselves?
No, I don't. But I think it's a lot more difficult. I'm gonna ask this: have any of you guys been suicidal? Has anybody attempted?
Once.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand how hard it is? Obviously, both of you are still here. I'm still here. Okay. You have to overcome the human instinct of survival.
Yeah.
You
Of
cannot
not
walk.
harming
You cannot
yourself.
walk to the edge of a cliff and be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm just gonna jump off." You have to overcome
Yeah.
so many emotions.
It's like you
before
can't
do
bite
that.
yourself and break the skin.
Right. Like if you bite as hard as you bite on a carrot, you can bite somebody's finger off.
You know
Think
that,
about
right?
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was
Can you
gonna say
actually?
that, yeah.
Can you actually?
You
do
can
that?
actually.
cannot-
You
go
can
ahead,
actually
man.
physically
Bite
do
your
that.
finger right now. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's
You
see
can
if
actually-
You can bite my finger.
No,
off.
no,
You
no,
can-
I don't care about that.
You can
cannot
do that.
break
But
your
like,
skin when
You can
bite
bite your
yourself.
finger off as easily as you bite a
Your
carrot.
brain
Yeah.
is the most powerful mechanical
But
tool.
your brain stops you from
Yeah.
biting your finger
It's
off like a
fight,
carrot.
fight or
Yeah.
flight,
Yeah.
Like,
self-preservation.
that's what
you
I'm
cannot,
saying.
You cannot break your skin if you try
And
to
like-
bite yourself.
like-
you can
I wanna
bite
try
yourself as hard as you can right now. As hard as
you
you,
think
no,
I can
not
just-
your finger. Just like bite this, and you cannot break the skin because
No, it depends on how
On your
how
mental state.
Yeah, your mental state and how fucked you are. Because
No, 100%. But like, that's
Yeah.
that's my issue with firearms and the fact that we have so many like kids are dying and we're just saying, oh, pray, like thoughts and
Right.
prayers. Let's put more police in the schools. Like,
Right.
what is? Why can we not just try it? Can we just try it for 5 fucking years?
I
Put
won't
it
go
in
my
an
freedom.
arsenal. Put it in a safe. Everything gets registered. You can have it back in 5 years, but can we just try it for 5 fucking years?
Dude, we
just
have
to
tried
see
it.
But
We
there's
tried
so-
it in
but there's so
Chicago,
many
we tried it in
different-
Detroit, we
No.
tried it
they
in
tried
New
it
York.
in New York, but like there's so many
Okay, but
different
bad
avenues.
people are still gonna get guns. That's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
so if
Yeah.
they can have them, I want to have them. As a law-abiding citizen.
Ricky, what's your thought on this?
I mean, I'm on the same boat that he is. Like, there's just so many.
I'm just saying,
so
most
many
of,
innocent lives have just been taken. Just
most of the people
So-
that acquire these firearms are acquiring them
senselessly.
legally.
Like
That's what I mean. I say gun control in the most specific sense of control as like you need to be vetted. You need to be like screened. Everything needs to fucking happen.
That's the crazy thing.
In my home state of Iowa, I can walk in, throw a down payment down of $200, and I can walk out with an AR-15.
That is insane.
That is maniacal to me. That
Dude.
is fucked.
in Georgia,
okay.
that doesn't happen. Like you go in there, you
Yeah, no,
you
there
fill
are
out the
some-
paperwork,
there are some
and
states
they
that's
do a
different.
background check, and you have to wait 90 days before you get your gun.
So-
That's
so-
the crazy thing about Arizona to me. Is like you can walk in at 2 o'clock in a gun store,
And
at
walk out with-
2:20, you're walking out with ammo and a gun. Like
It's
that is
dumb. That's
crazy.
dumb.
Crazy.
So is it okay for people like
Because you
like,
don't know the mental, the mindset
You
of
know
the person.
nothing.
like with
You
me,
absolutely know nothing.
I got my CCW. You don't need to carry that in the state of Arizona, but
No.
with the CCW, I don't know if you know what that is.
Concealed carry
Yeah.
weapon.
So they vetted me. They did everything.
Right.
Is
And
it
that's-
okay for me to own a gun?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Like any gun.
That's fine.
Yes.
And,
I feel like that's a good way to
If you've
go.
been properly vetted, then you can have any gun you want.
It's like being a fucking EMT. It's like being like any of those like very niche skilled like positions. Like if you want to own a gun, fine, but go to class for like 6 months.
Right.
6 months?
Yeah. Dude.
Yes!
You have to be.
Classes aren't that long.
Question.
Not 6 months. I mean, maybe
Yeah, they're
6
not that
months is a
long.
long time.
You're
I'm
a
just throwing shit
female.
out.
You're a female. You dated a guy. He turns out to be a psychopath. He's stalking you. 90 days. Go wait. He's gonna come rape you. Just so you know. Like he's going to come and rape you.
What happened?
You
What,
file-
what
you
happened?
file-
What
you
happened?
file-
What happened with Tiffany Tempe? Just this week. I don't know if you saw the post.
No.
She got slapped.
Oh, yeah,
You know
she
who I'm talking about.
She got punched in the face by some dude. She was
Oh yeah,
trying
and
to
had
kick out.
fucking brain damage.
Yeah,
Brain
brain
damage.
damage.
Right.
Like,
Closing the bar.
So I want you guys to go tell that girl, wait 90 days, go 6 months to her class,
Okay,
and then you can get a gun.
But then that circumstance, right? That circumstance happened in she didn't know this guy before.
Right,
That guy
right.
just walked into the bar, and like, that's unsuspecting.
right.
So it's
So
okay.
what do you mean?
It's
It's
not
I don't.
okay.
I don't
It's
think it's
justifying.
okay.
It's
justifying.
I don't. I'm
You
not
can't just,
justifying
like,
the actions,
smoke
but I'm
a
not just
girl
saying
in the
like.
face unwanted.
I'm not just saying like.
that is not cool.
Okay, because like you could get punched in the face, like you should own a gun. That's dumb. And honestly, like if you really
It's
want to boil it
not.
down, I'm a pretty strong believer in like the classical Darwinism. And if you have to own a
Right.
firearm to protect yourself, that's on you, brother. That's on you. If you can't like, if that's the way you want to go about things, fine, go for it.
Yeah, but
like,
what if you live in South Phoenix? Like, what if you live? We live in
I'm
a
not
nice part of
scared.
town.
I'm not.
You-
I've
you
lived,
aren't scared 'cause
I've lived
I
in
leave my
sketchy
doors
parts of
unlocked.
town. I lived in downtown Phoenix. I lived on Central and 3rd Ave. All right, I'm not
That's
scared.
not that bad.
I'm not. It's not that bad. I mean, it's not Maryvale. It's not Maryvale, but like,
If you live on-
if somebody wants to kill you, they're gonna kill you.
Yeah,
Plain and
hands
simple.
down, hands
Not
down.
me.
Hands
Bullshit.
If somebody wants to kill me, they're
Bullshit.
gonna have to get through my shower.
You have to
again.
work.
Yeah, it's gonna be a.
That's
a
fine, work,
process.
but they're gonna
Like you
do
said,
it. And if they realize that they
if
can't,
it's your time,
like,
then it's your time. Like you can't.
I don't.
There's no
I
avoiding it.
have no like.
There's
some,
Have you ever-
definitely avoiding it.
And,
yeah.
and the reason I think the biggest story that like I say this is because my grandfather was walking around Chicago and he was in the Navy, and this was like probably in the 60s, and some guy came up, he like ran up on him and put a gun to his back and said, "Give me everything that you have,
Throw your wallet 10 feet away.
like,
then
give me
pull yours
everything that
out
you
and
have."
cap.
Blah blah. But no, what did my grandpa do? My grandpa was in the fucking Navy. He was allowed to carry. He was allowed to do whatever he wanted. Okay? What did he do? He turned around and he spoke to the guy. He said, "Why are you doing this? You don't gotta do this. Here's $20. Go get yourself some food. Go get a coffee. All you gotta do is talk to people.
It's not that easy, dude.
Diplomacy defeats all violence.
That's a nice, fantastical like.
It's not a
fantasy,
it's
but-
not a fantasy because if you would just hear people out
Yeah.
and understand what struggle they're going through,
Right.
you would be able to like relate to them in some way, human to human.
You would be
instead
able
of
to
just being like,
diffuse a lot of
"Oh, you got a gun?
situations."
Me too."
Yeah.
Okay, now you've elevated that from like you have like what is it? You struck iron with iron? No, I don't remember the saying.
Iron sharpens
Essentially,
iron.
yeah. Or no, not iron. I think what I meant was you poured gas on the fire. You poured fuel on the fire by pulling out a gun. Instead of just turning around and being like, "Look, bro, like
Every
you
situation
can do that
be
if you really want to."
de-escalated.
But like, and that's like de-escalation is like that should be the basis of all of our violent issues.
But what's option C? You die.
I mean, the guy really wanted to kill me, I guess. Like, I don't really care.
I do.
If somebody's holding
Yeah.
if somebody's holding a gun to my back and I turn around and I try to talk the guy like down, and he still decides to shoot me, me as a human being and my legacy gets to live on as I tried to talk him out of it. I tried to hear him
They'll
out.
never know.
Okay, well, you have legacy 1. You tried to talk him out of it. You tried to talk him down. You tried to understand who he is as a human being. Or legacy 2, you shot a dude. What do you want to live with?
What does Yaz want to live with?
What do you mean? What does Yasmin live with?
Well, yeah, because
Like, as far as me?
Does she
Yeah.
want you alive or does she want you dead?
I'm sure she wants me alive.
Yeah.
But I
So-
think she also understands that, like, she also understands my morals. She also understands who I am as a person. She understands that
I get that.
anything that I do in my life
But your
is
legacy is far less important than you actually being alive. To her, I would think.
to her, right?
Yeah,
to
your
her.
wife. She's
but,
your wife.
But here's the thing. If my partner loves me like she does, and I know she does, she is going to understand exactly my motives for absolutely everything. And she's going to understand why I did the things that I did.
Right.
She's gonna allow, like, she
makes
will
sense.
she will be able to
Yeah,
live that down
like,
because, like,
it
she
makes
loves
sense.
me. She's
Yeah.
gonna be able to remember me as the
I get
person
it.
who,
Yeah.
like, held true
She's
to
gonna
his
be like,
beliefs.
oh, well,
That's all
I see
fine,
why
but-
he did that.
See, like when
Okay,
when
great, but
when
he's
things
dead.
happen with the DEA
That's
with
the
I
me.
am dead, but, like, okay, like, I'm not. I mean, I stand here before you today, and
I
I'm
need you to come to work, okay? You can't just go off and have
the raging capitalist. Here.
You can't just like be
Oh, you got
this
shot?
philosopher.
Oh, yeah, you need to come in.
God damn it! Adam's dead.
Wait, duh.
What do you mean? We need. Did he find coverage?
He's in a coma. So can he make it into this?
Did he switch? Did he switch with Becca?
Did he call Becca? Tell me he called Becca, because I'm not filling in for him today.
Dude, you ever
Just
heard
could
that
you
thing
imagine
about
that? So he got a
knocking
gun to
on
my
wood?
back, and I just like, hold on.
You should
Hey,
never
Beck,
do that.
can you call me? Or can you cover for me? Okay, you,
Ricky said again.
You're like summoning demons. You ever heard that saying, knock on wood? No, don't do it. Don't do it.
you're
like
you're
summoning-
talking from a very Christian perspective, and I'm not.
Christian perspective? Jesus Christ, man. I'm just talking about just not allowing
pagan.
demons into my
All right,
life.
next question. Let's move on to the next one. I'm tired of going.
Let's do some
Tired of
more
ghosts?
lighthearted shit. Adam, who's better at golf, me or you?
That was fucking quick. Holy shit.
No hesitation.
And-
Except
and
when I
he
get
only-
his head.
he only
Except when I
asked
get
his
Yo,
head.
hold on.
I have a follow up.
Okay.
Adam, who do you think is better at golf, Ricky or Joseph?
Ooh.
Joseph.
That's racist.
True.
It's not racist. The greatest golfer on earth is Tiger Woods.
So
Okay.
So I have a question. You said you're better. He's better than you
Yeah.
until you get in his head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Yo, hold on. No, that's with
This dude-
everything.
Yeah, he-
I don't know.
Ego is not
His
your
ego.
amigo, my friend.
I know.
Let me tell you this.
No.
He-
You
when
tell me
he
that
plays
porn,
ball, I'm like, oh yeah, this
Once
is
the
what,
ego gets to you at porn, we're like,
Hey,
let's
yeah.
fucking, here we go.
That's where I realized, like, I've done mushrooms and he has not. Like, I don't have an ego. I don't give a fuck. Like, if I make a
call-
bad drive, okay, well, whatever.
he'll call like 3
I'll never
banks on the
forget,
8-ball. I'm like,
we were
okay.
playing,
You're high.
we were playing Silverado. Silverado? Is that what it was? When we both sliced off the tee on the par 3?
Probably. Yeah.
So we were both playing that, and he's like in his head, chirping himself, blah 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 blah, and I'm just like, swing! It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be good. Whatever. I mean, I doubled the hole, but I think he
ego
doubled
is
the hole
not your
too.
amigo.
Like,
I like that.
Ego is not your amigo, my friend.
but nah, you just gotta get in his head a little bit.
Dude, that's what I realized.
He'll
As
come.
soon as you get into Doug's head, he's fucked.
Okay, we got one more. Ricky, you were talking about what's the big deal with country music, and,
Yeah, I
and you
don't
don't understand it.
Okay. Because you and I had this back and forth. Like
Now, before we get into this, Ricky went to a Trump rally in 2018 or 16. You went to-
Unintentionally.
Unintentionally.
I didn't know.
And did you have a great time?
I did have a great
And
time.
was there a lot of country?
That was a crazy thing, dude. Like it was. I mean, like it
that's
was
my
like.
problem with Trump. He's not a fucking politician. He's like a sports team. They tailgate for his shit. That's fuck. I don't want those people to
Exactly.
dictate my
I
life.
was on like the what's it? What's the border? It's like Arizona and
Like Bisbee or
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's
I
busy.
was on that border and like, dude, it was just like. When I realized it was when they had the fucking boats going through with the fucking flags, Trump this, Trump. I was like,
He's all, huh?
yeah, I was like, oh, they really.
He's all, I don't think am I allowed here today?
Dude, no, but everybody was fucking cool. Everybody was drinking. Everybody was hanging out. Like, it wasn't, I didn't feel like any aggression at all. That was a weird thing. That's when I kind of like, I was like, okay, well, maybe some of these people aren't
So
that bad.
hold on. What's your issue with country music?
Yeah,
Oh,
I like that.
It all sounds sad to me. Like
It's actually there's some songs out
Is there
there.
an upbeat country song
No,
other
definitely
than
not. It's
Achy
not
Breaky
country
Heart?
if it's upbeat.
Well, no, because once you get upbeat country, it's
It's
like
pop.
country
Like
pop.
somebody's car broke down, somebody's wife left them, their dog died.
Yeah, real shit.
I mean, that is like.
I mean, that is real shit, but it's just like, Jesus Christ, man. Like,
I mean,
I come in here and
people
like,
could say the
there's
same thing about R&B.
people playing like country music
Yeah,
for an
R&B is the
hour
same way.
straight. Like,
Yeah,
how much?
but R&B's
I
like
can-
lovey.
Yeah, but it's
Rhythm
the
and
same.
blues.
It's the same shit.
Yeah.
It's the same tempo.
It's the same tempo. You're like, oh my god, I fell in love. This girl left me. I want to do a seductive dance for her.
accurate. With like a dance with a hat, you know, like,
And only a
you know?
I can only take about 10 to 15 minutes of country music. Like, how much country music can you have in a sitting? Can you sit through hours of country
I can
music?
sit
I
through an
mean,
album.
I think honestly, it's kind of like ingrained in my blood being from Iowa. Like I used to go to barn parties and shit back in the day. But
Someone
like,
always whipped out a guitar, huh?
well, no, it's not like that. It's just
There's
like
a tear in
like,
my beer.
I was just so like where I grew up is pretty.
That was really nice. That was his line.
Where I grew up is pretty like, it's pretty country. Like, I had friends and stuff like that who like they own acreages and like whatnot. But-
Drove tractors to school.
Yeah, no,
Dude,
I did know a couple.
I
But at the
lived-
same
I grew
time,
up
like
in Georgia.
He's like, yeah, I rode a tractor to
I've
school.
heard more
It was-
country music living in Arizona than I have
Well,
in Georgia.
you gotta remember, Arizona was part of the Confederacy, so that's just do with that what you will.
Really?
But like country music is a thing here. Like it's the wild
It's
Wild
the Wild West,
the Wild
bro.
West in the country. Like that makes sense.
The thing is that it's still the Wild West out here.
It is.
It
still
is.
really
Wild West,
is.
it is. But
Jesus.
Daddy like it.
I don't know.
I love
like
it.
country music's not bad. I mean, I prefer to listen to other shit.
No,
but like,
I'm not saying that it's bad. It's just like I cannot take.
I mean,
a
you're never gonna
concentrated
fucking
amount.
catch me at Country Thunder. I'll put it that way.
No,
Right.
that sounds terrible.
And you love country.
I do, but I'm not going to tailgate or fucking get a RV. I'm sorry. It sounds
Dude,
fun, but
RVs are
I'm not a
disgusting.
child
Like,
anymore.
I
I
don't-
can't be doing shit like that.
You're like, I gotta open on fucking Sundays. I gotta work at Nook at 3 p.m.
Dude, I'm trying to drink some wine, get some
Good time.
bruschetta, you know, just do some like
Yeah, he said
Italian
bruschetta.
Yeah, let's get that. Shut the
Fancy
fuck
ass.
up.
Hey, do me a
That's fancy
favor,
ass
like
motherfucker
real
over here.
quick. Scorch Corner audience. He's going to Italy in a couple months. Please, when you're in Florence, go to a Fiorentina game. Do it for me.
Okay, yeah. I
You're
will.
going for 2 weeks, right?
I'll send you.
14 days.
I'll send you.
I'm coming the second week.
You going for 2 weeks, right? 14 days. Yeah, 2 fucking weeks, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
You're going for 2. No, 14 days.
Specify.
14 days.
Sorry.
We gotta wrap it up because I think we're about to be
Yeah,
done.
we do have to wrap it up.
We have a fake sponsor today.
We do.
We are selling shitty Ricky whiskey. I'm gonna give a nice little gaudy product placement shot here for everyone to see.
Shitty Ricky whiskey, baby.
It's absolute trash. So
Absolute
if you
trash.
guys want some, come on down to Dilly.
tastes-
Whiskey's not supposed to be cloudy.
It tastes just like it looks.
It's gross. It's terrible. This is what he drinks.
This
If
is
you
like-
if you want to
that-
know
okay,
if you
that
want to
is
know what
not
it feels
what
like
I
as a
actually
person, come talk to him.
That is not actually what I drink, but it's
It's pretty damn
Similar.
close.
good
It's what he
representation.
represents.
It's a good representation. For
All right
sure.
then. We gotta end it because I gotta call Jen because it's 2:10.
Yeah, I'll see you guys later.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
guys. See you
Thank
next
you
week.
to all the questions. Really looking forward to coming back sometime soon.
Yes.
Appreciate it,
Easy
bro.
guys. I appreciate you all.
Thank you so much.
Love each and every one of you.
I don't
Great.
think
Love you,
Jen.
bro.
I don't think Jen knows she's coming in today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh dear, don't you ever worry, I'm right here. I can't fucking live without you. I wouldn't even want to. That kid looks just like you.
That's my kid.
Yeah.